This is Mark Johnson from Loyalty 360. I'm here with Christian Wright from eDialog at the 2012 Forrester Customer Intelligence Forum. Christian, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and eDialog?
Sure, absolutely. So my name is Christian Wright. I'm the General Manager for eDialog North America and Chief Technology Officer. And eDialog is a multi-channel campaign management marketing company focused on helping our customers engage with their consumers better.
Great. And your position at eDialog?
My position is I'm CTO and General Manager North America, and really focus on managing our business 360 degrees across North America and then across the globe from a technology standpoint.
Great. What is the state of marketing today?
I think marketing is in and has been in a while in a transitional state, but in the past it's been a transitional state around channels and how do we adopt and work with new channels, whereas today I think it's a transitional state away from the marketer and to the consumer. So we've seen a democratization of marketing in the last 12 to 18 months, which has really enabled through social media and other media the consumer to have a more meaningful and relevant relationship with the brand that takes that control out of the marketer, and I think that is the biggest change going on right now in marketing.
Okay, great. With the advent of social, mobile, and other emerging technologies, how do brands effectively engage their audience in this challenging and very dynamic marketing environment?
Well, it's a good question. In most brands, especially large brands, I don't think well. I mean, I think you have pockets of expertise in social or mobile or some other channel, but I think in general, people are still trying to figure it out. I think the silos within, especially large organizations that we work, big brands, makes it very challenging to have an effective social, mobile, email, whatever other type of sort of integrated campaign strategy you want to have, because the organization is just fundamentally not organized that way, right? So you got the social CRM kind of guy, and you've got the email guy, and they're not necessarily talking to one another.
Great. What will be the biggest opportunity for marketers in the next 3 to 5 years?
Biggest opportunity. I think the biggest opportunity is putting the customer at this, or the consumer at the center of whatever they're doing. So I think if the brands that can get out of their own way and actually focus on the consumer's needs 100% or as close to 100% as possible, will be able to engage and build longer lasting relationships with their customers than others. And I think in a world where in 2 minutes a blogger could take you out and ruin your product, having that relevant dialogue and that efficacy with your consumer base is a pretty important thing to do.
That's awesome. What will be the biggest challenge for marketers in the next 3 to 5 years?
Biggest challenge? Just to piggyback, I think putting the consumer first, right? So I think the challenge that we see with our clients is that it's very easy to say we want to be one-to-one focused, or we want to be engaging or building relevant engagements with our consumers, but I think the practicality of running the business day-to-day gets in the way. And I think the challenge for a CMO or any marketer at this point is how do I sort of minimize the time that I spend in the business and maximize the time I spend on the business so it's more relevant to my consumers and not necessarily more relevant to me.
Great. Loyalty 360 believes it's the best time to be a CMO, but it's also the most challenging time to be a CMO. Do you agree with that? And if so, what advice could you give a CMO in today's environment to help the efficacy of their programs?
Sure. I actually would agree with that. I mean, I think marketing in general and the chief marketing officer in general has had more power today than at any time in recent history, and maybe history in general. And I think, especially in technology-driven sort of organizations, you see that you've got marketing accounting for 50% of the technology spend in some companies that we work with. There's marketing technology officers, not necessarily chief technology officers. So I think the span and control of marketing has increased significantly. But I also think that in the past, marketing and a CMO position in general has tended to be more mass media focused, more brands, less measurable, and I think those times have changed, and there is more accountability and there is more measurement against a CMO, more than there's ever been. So with more control comes more sort of scrutiny, and I think that makes it a very challenging situation.
Great. In engagement, perception is everything, and loyalty is a culmination of a series of effective engagements and those experiences. Yep. How do brands effectively engage individuals in this very diverse and data-rich ecosphere?
Well, so I think this is a challenge I think people will be dealing with for a long time, right? Because what was it in Dave Franklin's presentation? I think he said 90% of the world's data has been created in the last 2 years, and that's a pretty significant statement when you start thinking, a pretty profound statement when you think about it. So I think for a company to be able to have the relevant data they need to make relevant decisions and therefore relevant engagements with a consumer at the consumer's time and media of choice, I think is sort of the key thing. So, so to the extent that you can simplify process, streamline process, make your messaging and your communications across channels as uniform as possible, I think that's really how brands can effectively start engaging with consumers. But I don't think there's any panacea. There's no silver bullet. It really is a function of just good old-fashioned hard work and making sure that everybody's aligned.
Great, Christian. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us today.
Good. Thank you.